Tú eres mi destino y no te imaginas.
First question. This album feels like a cohesive piece of work. Where were you mentally, spiritually when you wrote the album?
I think mentally, I was just very hungry at the time. It had been a minute since I dropped the project. So I definitely had that awareness of the pressure, but the importance also of all right, it's been a minute, people been waiting, it's gotta be good. But mentally I was kind of probably everywhere too. I wrote this album within the course of a year and a half. Certain songs came to me, sometimes with Mi Vida Nueva, the concept and idea came up and I didn't finish writing the songs till months later. Which is weird. Normally I sit, I write, and I'm done. But for this process with this album, I kind of let my brain wander a little more and didn't, I guess I wasn't just so definitive right away, you know? But kind of went everywhere with this question. I was in a good spot, man. I just really wanted this to be that project that stood the test of time, you know? So if you kind of listened or got it, you could feel the texture as being, okay, this is something that was built nicely instead of just thrown all together, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you for the next question, because sometimes we'll hear albums that are streamlined, you know, you're in a certain space and then you just kind of go through with your feelings and knock it out in a couple weeks. But you're saying that it took you sometimes a year to write a song. But other than Mi Vida Nueva, what was the process like recording? Was it all recorded here? What was your process in writing? What emotion were you trying to evoke as you were writing the album?
Pretty much everything was recorded here in EOTR studio. Some of it I wrote on the road. We were actually doing a tour in 2017. We went the Pacific Northwest. And you know, that time you get on the road just sitting for hours in a van or in a car, you know. It's a lot of time to reflect. It's one of my favorite parts about traveling. It's that mental space you occupy while traveling. I mean, it doesn't even matter what the ticket costs, you know, because once you're on that plane or you're on that train or that bus, these ideas start flowing, you know. So that's why I always tell artists too, I'm like, man, it don't even matter how big the show is you're doing. Get out of the city, get out, even a 2-hour drive out of your comfort zone. I mean, it opens up so many parts of your brain. So I was just dealing with that a lot of stuff swirling. But a lot of it did flow very freely. I've done that where I've thrown albums together on the fly. You know, since I'm mixing and mastering my own stuff, if I like something, I could finish it in a couple of days and be I want to release it. Or put it in the done pile, that's done. And then go back, see what I got, and drop something. So I've definitely followed that formula before. For this one particularly, I wanted to go, you know, away from it and say, okay, everything's going to be very, very well crafted and put in the right place. Yeah, I'm definitely picky with beats. The album is only 8 tracks long, and I probably only wrote 10 songs for the album. 2 of them I didn't put on. I think one I didn't finish, and then the other one was Top Notch, which I wrote and then released as a single on its own. But I'm usually very, very picky. So before I start writing, or if I have to really love the beat. That's just how I am. So I kind of challenge myself to work with producers I know could give me that work. You know what I mean? And it kind of just worked out nicely. I only used, I believe, 4 producers on the entire project. 4 producers, maybe, yeah, right? 4 or 5. And I pretty much got a beat or 2 from everyone, you know, from Lex, Spec, Bad Son, who I've been working with for years. Rockham, who's one of my favorite producers, this was the first time we actually worked together, you know, on a consistent basis with a couple beats. But I just wanted it to sound, like you're saying, cohesive. I wanted it to have an East LA sound. So sometimes, you know, I don't go in there telling the producer, this is what I need you to sound like. I'll just kind of listen to what they got and be like, no. And then probably after that 100th, wait, that's that one. Let me hear that again. Damn, where them horns come from? Like, damn, you were in East Los when you made this? Like, how'd you get that? So I got lucky on a lot of times where the production just fit kind of the mentality I was looking for. And then with Peyote, the Global Get Down, who produced that one, and Salute to Success on my album, me and him have always had a special relationship, man. That dude's probably given me 3 beats, 4 beats my entire life, and every one of them have been tracks that I've done something with. So I like to do that. I know how producers are. You know what I mean? They get mad. You take a beat from them and you don't use it. Producers are sensitive people, bro. So I've always been like, just give me 1 beat. I ain't trying to ask you for a 10 beat pack. Then you're asking me, 10 months from now, what about all them beats I gave you, bro? Like, I just need that one, and I'll do something with it.
So you have a big show coming up, marks the year anniversary. You're doing a live rendition. Did you find any challenges or difficulties, and not only choosing what band you're gonna go with, but also like turning that into live music? Like, what was that process like? Or was there a challenge or anything like that?
Well, to be honest, I'm still doing the process. We have another rehearsal next week. The band is super talented, so I guess I'm blessed to have, when you're dealing with musicians that just know their shit and they can count music and the bars and they know the notes and the key it's in at every moment. I'm just like, I'm blown away by that, I'm on beginner level when it comes to that, but I trust my ear, So what happened is I have these homies called the Altons, who some of them are from the east side, and they're a well-known band on this area, and we've been homies for a few years now. And when the idea came about, I wanted to do a live band, but one of the things that was holding me was that. I'm like, how am I going to find all these musicians like that I trust, I don't want just homie over here who plays a guitar, you know what I mean? Like, I need some bad motherfuckers. And Kiddo was the one, why don't you ask the Altons? And like in those times that you're just like, duh, you know what I mean? Like, she said that, I'm like, bro, why didn't I think? Of course. I jumped on the phone, I text one of the heads of the band, and I'm like, hey dude, I got this idea, I want to throw 1 year, and I want the Altons to be the band for it. And he's like, we've been waiting for this call. He's like, we've been practicing your shit, we're ready. He's like, we've been waiting for this for a while. I'm like, wow, all right. So yeah, we had our first rehearsal last week, and it was like we've been playing for years, dude. It was so crazy. I'm in there like, how the fuck did these guys get this down so quick? But they're familiar with my stuff, and they're homies, so it just, it's coming together very nicely, when it comes to that.
Why was it important for you to not only bring it back home to Paramount, but also to do a live rendition of it? Like, why did you see it to be like, why did it need to be like live for you?
I think I've always loved live performances. I've never had the chance to do a whole band thing myself. So the fact that it's never been done for myself, within my catalog or within my resume, I've never done anything like that. So there's not a lot of things that I've tried a lot of crazy shit, and this is one of those. It's like, wait, I've never done this one. So I think it's a draw, it's a challenge, and I've always been like that, bro. Like, I even challenge other artists, like, what else are you bringing to the table? If I just tell you, I'm gonna have a show, all right, cool. What makes it any different from the last 20 shows I've done? Oh, well, I'm rocking with an 8-piece band at a historic venue. It's like, oh shit, I can't miss this. It just adds that extra thing to it, and I'm always trying to do that. I mean, I swear I've tried shit where it's like, yo, I want to perform 30 days straight and just do a show every day, or I've gone Facebook Live for 24 hours just to just to push it, just to get people's attention, just so they're like, you just bring some extra to the table, bro.
So not only you're bringing it back to Boyle Heights, and to your supporters here, family, friends, but when did you see the opening to be the champion behind your area and the culture, Boyle Heights, and just the city in general? Like, when did you see that opening, or why did you feel that there was a need to fill a void if there was one?
I've seen the void there because you grew up here, and I grew up loving hip hop, and I never went to a hip hop show in my own neighborhood. Even with will.i.am here, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just never been a thing that was so I guess like prominent, or so right there in your face. As much as you'll see a cumbia band or a mariachi band or a punk show, or a metal show. I've gone to dozens of metal shows in Boyle Heights, East Los. Never went to a hip hop show, you know? So it was a trip. And I saw that opening and that void. And not only did I want to be that person to fill it, I did. But at the same time, too, it just becomes like there's just this demand for it. And it almost becomes common sense. You know what I mean? Like, hey, people want this, and here's this opening. No one's doing it. Why don't I just go and do it? And then I always wanted to hold it down for Boyle Heights, man. I think that's an essential part of hip hop. And I don't know how people miss it for our area. But where's Biggie from? From Brooklyn. We all know that. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where was Pac from? You know, he was born on the east side, but he would be west side and rep where he's, you know, Ice Cube's from South Central. You know that Eazy's from Compton. But yet, you know, you never really see people from East Los or from this side as far as hip-hop repping where they're from. And I was like, that should be essential. You know, like, I've never been a Bankhead, but I know that it's in Atlanta because I listen to Outkast, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it may be. So I wanted to be that for East Los and for Boyle Heights. And when I first started rapping 10 years back, fools would tell me, hey, you know, say Los Angeles. Don't say East. Don't say Boyle Heights. You're making yourself too small. You need to be more broad, more universal. You know, people say that. And I was just like hard-headed, like, fuck that. I'm going to say Boyle Heights in every one of my songs. I'm going to use references from our culture just because I wanted to. And now, full circle later, it's becoming a thing, you know, to look this certain way or to cholo culture or Chicano culture or food culture. And it's a trip. Modelo time. Hey, fool, you know, like, what the hell? Like, this is how we've been talking, you know, since we were kids. And now it's becoming a mainstream thing. It's a trip, man.
So what are some areas around Boyle Heights that are dear to your heart that really symbolize, you know, something meaningful to you?
Damn. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. I mean, just First Street where we're at. I can't leave this place. We've been here 4 years right on First. And it's because this is it. This is the mecca of Chicano culture. Boyle Heights, East LA. So from First Street, literally White Memorial, where I was born, where my brothers were born, to Felipe Baguez over here, where we've buried family members, to, you know, First and Soto, where, you know, we grew up walking, Fourth and Soto, where we went to school and you got chased by fools in cars in the 90s, and gang banging. This was a center of gang banging for East LA, and, you know, or just for Los Angeles Mexicans, you know, gangs and stuff. This was the hotbed of it. So, like, not to glorify that or anything, but this is all the place that I grew up, you know? And the stories tied in so much with me because I gotta see it, you know, and also gotta see what it isn't when people try to display it in an evil way. And it's like, no, we're just people. And we're struggling and we're doing all of this, but there's still a lot of beauty in it, you know what I mean? And there's still a lot of great art here. And I just wanted to put my name in the mix of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, so many spots so dear to me here in Boyle Heights, man. I love it here.
We often see certain parts of LA depicted in certain lights or stereotypically. Was there any motivation behind that thought process to portray you, yourself, and the area in a more positive light, or just like try and get a different message across other than like what the world around knows LA as? I know, like, you were in Europe and you're saying that some people, you know, like recognize the city for certain ways or certain values, but did you want to portray it in a different light, or is it like...
I just wanted to portray it in my true light. If I grew up doing that, then I would do that and I would show that. But my light, if you see it, or my art, is like, it's standing right next to that, but it's something else. You know what I mean? But we cannot deny the fact that that is a part of our culture. You know what I mean? From the gangbanging to the Chicano movement of walkouts and protests to the hardworking immigrant mentality that we have that kind of makes us not want to stand out and be cautious of our surroundings, all these things. Like, it would be unfair for me not to address one and the other. But my point of view of it is specifically unique to myself because I didn't grow up doing that. But at the same time, I wasn't necessarily a really good kid. You know, I got into some trouble. I did some dumb shit too. My life could have taken that path to that, but it didn't. You know, and so I just feel like it's such a unique experience to be Chicano and to be who we are, wherever you want to put it. American, Mexican American, you call yourself fucking whatever you want. The fact of the matter is, we have a unique story by being able to be whatever, being able to take any of these paths and to be influenced by so many different things. And I wanted to show that, you know? Don't just show one part and put us in a box. Like, you can't do that to us anymore. There's just too many angles to it, you know? And with EOTR, then you have me, and then, all right, now here's East of the River. Here's to double down on my point. None of us are alike. This person sounds like this. This fool grew up in the same neighborhood as me and has a completely different experience as me. Maybe they went to private school. Maybe their parents were not even as well off as my parents, or, you know, or maybe they were better. You know, it's just so many different views, and then within one crew. So now you can't even just say, oh, you know, that's just your point of view. It's kind of like, okay, but here's now 8 other stories, and they all come from a similar, but they're completely different from me. Like, you know?
What track of yours is your favorite or the most personal that you wrote, and that when you still perform it really just kind of like hits you hard, and explain that a little bit, kind of like, what is that?
I think Mi Vida Nueva is probably that song on the album. All of it means so much to me. Like Peyote Cactus, when I perform that one, is still, no matter where we at, man. I say the B, the O, the Y, L, E, and people vibe with it. And also, strangely enough, too, Agua Fresca is like a very personal track in a way, because the middle, where I rap the Dream On verse, like, that's one of my favorite verses I've ever written, you know? Like, that has a lot of gems and a lot of stuff that we were just talking about, like our social and background, and, kind of like my perspective on being where I'm from and my background and all that. So that's one of the special ones. When I get to perform that one and I get to hit people with it in the middle of this trappy Agua Fresca, where'd this come from track, it's kind of a mind fuck, So that's my favorite when I see that interaction. But Mi Vida is really special, man. I wrote that at a certain point in my life, as far as going through some shit, but telling myself, hey, it's going to be better, it's going to be better. And then for stuff to happen with my family, and we had a tragedy in my family. My nephew passed away, just 5 days old, and it was devastating, And here I am staring at this song that I made, having to challenge myself to say, okay, you said it. Now, do you believe it? To really walk and believe these lyrics. It's easy to say, hey, new day, let the pain wash away. But can you let the pain wash away? Can you, it's a lot easier said than done. So that song was kind of crazy when I look back at it and what it meant to me just to hear those words. And that's why we have our mantras and our things we remind ourselves. And we put things in statues and on stone. Why? Not because what that is saying is true, always. It's because when you falter and when it's not like that, there goes your reminder. And it was good that it was out here. And I feel like those words were that. Like, even at the time that I felt weak, here I am having to hear them out here and having other people listen to it. And it just forced me to be like, okay, be the example, be the rock, be the thing, be that solid force right now for your family. So it ended up helping me a lot, man.
What are some upcoming tours and plans for 2020? What do you got lined up? What's going on? Let us know. EOTR, Viva, everybody all together.
Obviously the first major thing is January 15th. Biggest show I've ever attempted. Like we're saying, 400 person room, 8-piece band, the entire album, got Val the Wander co-headlining, the entire crew's rocking. They're all doing individual sets, so if you ever go to our shows and you're like, damn, I heard 2 Mad Max songs, I wanted some more, you know what I mean? Because we're doing these combined sets, while this will be a chance where you get to get your Mad Max and your Hollow fix and your Zay fix and everyone and be good. And then we're planning another trip to Europe. We'll be out in Europe again, maybe in May, maybe in August. We're trying to work it out. We got invited to this big hip-hop fest called Hip Hop Camp, and it's like 15,000 people in like the forest in Czech Republic. So we're trying to get in and get all the plane tickets and everything booked on time and everything. So Lord willing, we'll be there for that. And then we're planning tours, man. I want to build a hip hop performing circuit from Los Angeles to Nevada to Arizona to New Mexico and back, and do a revolving hip hop type of tour, almost like how 50s and 60s artists from Motown and shit, they had the Chitlin circuit. You know, you heard that? They like say it was bad, but at the same time it helped break a lot of artists, and it was just a way for them to get out. Well, I want to create that for us, for these Southwestern artists of Latino descent, to be able to have this place to go, you know? So I'm gonna call it the Frijoles Circuit. So I'm gonna try to build the Frijoles Circuit in the next year or two. And yeah, man, like we were saying, I just want to scale everything up. Everything that I've done up to this point, keep on improving it, but just adding zeros to the end. You know what I mean? Like we put in a certain amount of work and we've gotten it, and I just feel like we just a few dollars and planning and moves away from being able to just add zeros to everything we're doing, man. From a financial standpoint, but also just from the movement. You know, bringing out more people, going to more places, just having more of an impact, you know? So that's the main focus for 2020, for real.
No, and do you think it's going to take a movement in order for the big wigs to really pay attention to the Latinos around here? Or what do you think it's going to take? Or is it just talent alone? Or what's missing?
We're just going to do it on our own, bro. All we're missing is just that infrastructure. I truly believe that. We're just missing, like we're saying, promotion, man. You got a good product, now you got to show it to people. And it's taken us so many years to get the product really good. And that's what I've always believed in. I always would double down and be like, look, if you're not getting the attention right now, you know, you living at your mama's, you struggling right now. You're doing all these things, sacrificing to make it, but you're not there yet. Just double down on your work, double down on your quality, double down on the product. Just keep making it better and better and better. That'll never backfire. You'll never be mad that you made a better kick on your drums. You'll never be mad that you filmed a better video or that you just kept, you know, improving. No matter what may happen, no matter where the chips fall, that'll be the one thing that you're just 100% glad you did. And so, in believing in that, I just feel like the product's gotten so good now that we're making everything else catch up. The marketing, the management, the structure, all that stuff. Because without that good product, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So I really believe right now there ain't no one doing what we doing, and the shit's sounding so good, and especially the stuff we about to put out and all the stuff we have moving forward. It's like we don't even need the big wigs no more, bro. They know it. It's just a matter of time.
Cool. All right. So now I want to get into the actual individual songs from the album.
So yeah, Peyote Cactus. Just get into this.
Yeah, get into it.
Man, this was the track, man. This was the track. When I was making the album, I was almost done. This is one of the last songs I made. This is like the second or third to last song I made. And I just felt like the project was missing something. I was actually supposed to start the album with Long Awaited. So, you know, if you're familiar with the project, it's like this song kicks it off. But realistically, Long Awaited was supposed to be that, like, you've been waiting this long. Ladies and gents, the Long Awaited event. Like, I'm back. But I felt like the project was still missing something. And who comes? The global get down. My homie DJ Divine. He's always been that kind of person who pops in my life when I need him. And he was around and he's like, yo, what's up? How you been, fool? You know, who talks all like, hey, look, dog, come here, let me talk to you, dog. So you fucking up, homie, come here. All right. You know, because he's always in my ear. So he's like, what's up? How's the project coming along? I'm like, it's sounding great, bro. I played some tracks. I'm like, but I'm just missing something. Like, I'm missing that track that's gonna make the project move, the single. And he's like, all right, I might have something for you. And then he plays me this beat, and I hear the sample at the beginning. And I was just like, bro, this is that shit. This is that one. So we sat here, and I started fucking writing, and I had the first couple bars ready. Stuck to these streets like some shoe gun. I just knew that I wanted to bring it up. Almost like Mos Def. Mos Def's one of my favorite artists, and if you hear him, he can be mighty Mos Def right here, or he can be yo 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 yo. I want do 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 do, and I've always loved that dynamics. Like wow. So for this one, I was like, stuck to these streets like that. I'm here this whole time. I'm just rhyming. Da, 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 da. And like I had the wherewithal now to know that I'm doing that. Before I would just write. Right, I performed it, throw it out there, see how what people think. And this was a little more wild thought. How do I want to approach this? I want to be chilled, I want to be high, whatever. And started writing, and I remember Divine's like, finish it when you got some time. Don't try to finish it right now, yada yada. So I took my time, I went home, kept writing. We got together a couple days later. I rapped them this whole shit. We did the whole track, but I didn't have a hook. And I just let this part with the Boyle Heights just ride. And I was like, I don't know, we could put scratches, maybe I could do a little chant. But the song was sounding dope. And then Divine comes up to me, hey dog, nah dog, that's what you gotta do. Remember that B to H shit? Because I had put out a track using this hook. The B, the O, the Y-L-E back in like 2012. So like a good 3-4 years ago, you know, before this. And he remembered that song. He said, remember when you did that B to H shit? Do that shit again. You know, do that for this track. Just bring Boyle Heights back together for this. Come on, I'm like, at first I fought him on it. I'm like, come on, fool, leave that shit in the past. You're, you know, don't want to hear that shit. You gotta let things go, yada yada. But he was on me. He's like, nah, bro, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. I'm like, all right, let me go in there. It's the B, the O, the Y-L-E. Laid it down, and we were just like, bro, this is that one. And then from there, I was just so methodical with it, bro. Like, I put away the artist hat, and I just started getting my engineer. I went and got someone to play the drums, the bass on it again. We reworked the drums. I went and did my engineer shit. Like, let's put all this knowledge to work. Mess with the sample. I mean, from where the beat started to where it ended up, and the entire project, you know, the entire song, the record, it was just like, we felt like it was, oh shit. This is this process. This is that magic making shit that people have talked about, or you get to tell people about later. Like, we didn't, it was something different. It wasn't like we just went in there and, you know, it was something different. And that's how that song was born, man. And I knew it was gonna be cool. I had a feeling. I dropped that single. The audio did great, like just on my YouTube and shit. You could just kind of see it, you know? You're dropping stuff, you're getting some sort of response. Then you drop something and it's hot. And you're getting a gang of, you know, gang more views, a gang more interaction. And you're like, whoa, this is something special, you know? So with that mentality, then we went we went to go film the video. And me and Muds were like, we just gotta make this the best damn video we've ever done, you know? And we just challenged ourselves. That was such a process. It probably took about 3 full months to get the entire video done. It's like a month of planning, then it was 2 days of filming, and like another month and a half of editing. So we finally did it, dropped it on Latin Beast, and it just took off, you know? It didn't go viral, huge numbers, even though I think it's like 25K or a little under 30K. But the response, the interaction, when I don't care if you get 500 views, if those 500 views compelled people, every one of those 500 people, or, you know, most of them were really moved by that content and interacted, I mean, it's more powerful than getting the 2 million views and everyone just no one caring, you know what I mean? So, you know, I saw that, and it was very much a conscious fucking effort we made. We wanted people to feel proud. We wanted to. We were like, when we're sitting here, how do we want people to feel when they watch this? Like pride, fucking, you know, ownership of the neighborhood, and like feeling like, oh, we belong here, you know? On top of that, no negative imagery. Well, I don't want to show fools with straps and gang shit and all this. Like, I don't, you know, I'm not against it. I'm not right here fighting against it. But I just didn't want to show us in that light, you know? It's like clickbait, you know? Like, I didn't want people to only be on it because of that. And yeah, man, I'm really proud of that track. I mean, to this day, it's like, damn, that's that one, you know? Long awaited, we still got to shoot a video of that one. I might try to get that one done pretty soon. Yeah, that track, produced by Bad Son. And Bad Son's been one of my cool homies, close homies, producer homies for years now. I know I met that fool like in 2012, bro. Like, it's been a minute. My last album before that was called The Master's Degree, and he produced the entire thing. So for this one, I just wanted one beat from him. So I almost wanted to do that entire album on one song. So I told that fool too, I was like, I probably won't use any more beats than one. Just give me your dopest one, and just let me boom bap the shit out of it. Like, let me just put the quintessential boom bap song. And I feel like that's what that song is, you know? Even the rapping style, it's on the one every time, you know? Or, you know, on the down. My mama dropped me on my head, I hit the ground and bounced back. Like, it's always on that with the boom bap. And it's one of my favorite tracks, so I fucking love that song. I mean, damn. And we made it on the fly. He was here, he showed me the beat. He does it all, Fruity Loops, and he's crazy. That's crazy. He makes hundreds of beats. So yeah, he showed me a bunch of them, and that was that one, man.
Well, one that I dig a lot is I Was Wrong.
Last year, when the success happened or certain stuff we got good for, it almost impeded some of the work. So that's why I was like, this year you have to be ready for success. So we always prepare. They say prepare for the, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. But it's like we do that too much as artists and as, I don't know, whatever we are, right? Entrepreneurs, whatever. Sometimes you got to prepare for the best. And you got to say, all right, this is going to be successful. What the fuck am I going to do after this? I'm going to make money. I'm going to get attention. I'm going to do this. All right, then what, you know? But this song, man, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you've heard it, you know? Everybody's done some shit they've been wrong for. And in this life of being an MC and being a traveling artist, a lot of temptation. And I have a girlfriend. I'm in a relationship, been in one for years, you know? But this is a story of what can happen when you start letting your ego get the best of you and you're out on the road and there's temptation. So I just wanted to make a track for that and kind of own it. Like, no one's perfect. Like, we all fuck up at times, you know? So that's what this track was about. Produced by the homie Spec and actually engineered by my homie Morning Estrada. This has some of the best acoustics you'll hear on my entire album. I mix and mastered the entire album with exception for this song.
Oh, yeah. Cool, and then Mi Vida Nueva. This is down a little bit, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
we talked about it a little bit. Let's see how, yeah.
Let me pull that one up. So this one's interesting. This whole video and track is interesting. We talked about it earlier a bit as far as like the track being kind of a heavy track, you know? And in a lot of ways super positive, which I'm a positive person, but sometimes, you know, that positivity or stuff can come out a little cheesy, or it's a fine line, you know? But I really just wanted this whole song and this whole thing to have a positive message and to give people the strength to look at a bad situation, but be able to say, you know what, it's going to be okay. I can get through this, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, something ending and messing up is another chance at a new beginning. So, you know, when it ends, keep your head up. That's why I say that. Because everything ends. There's none of us get out of here alive. So, I guess I kind of live there a lot because I've had experiences where I live in that, hey, this life ain't promised. Like, don't invest too heavy on this year. But at the same time, you know, we all hurt. We all go through stuff. So I wanted to just make that song that gives people that hope. Yeah, I didn't have no cussing in it. I was very conscious of just even the words I chose to not be so sharp and aggressive. I wanted it to be rounded and in a way soft. Like, you know what I mean? You don't wipe your nose with concrete or with sandpaper. You need some Kleenex sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you need that little comfort. And that's what this song was. And crazy thing, Peyote Cactus, after we filmed that video, we released it, I got a DM from a cat named Moses Israel. And he's like, hey bro, I really liked your video. I would love to help you with your next video. And I get inquiries from time to time, you know. Every artist does, especially after you do something positive. Again, success leads to certain stuff. Opportunities will come. People will say, hey, I like that interview you did. You need help? Or could you want some mics, or you want this? And you almost have to prepare for that, you know, or even know, like, okay, this might be worth it. This might not be. So sometimes people, it might waste your time or something else. So Moses hits me up. He's like, I'd like to help you with your videos. I was like, cool. We meet. He's worked with Anderson .Paak, Snoop Dogg, Schoolboy Q. He did all of TDE's videos. He's done so much work. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yo, I want to help you with your videos. I won't charge you a thing. We'll just get a budget and we'll book all the stuff and help you. And the first video we shot was Mi Vida Nueva. And so it was crazy, like, Peyote, it got his attention, the video, because it was all shot in Boyle Heights. His girlfriend grew up in Boyle Heights, and he just moved here. So he just moved here, and he's like, who could I work with? Looks up, Boyle Heights, artist. Boom, I pop up, fucking Peyote Cactus. And he's like, let me, those shits you hear about. You know what I mean? Hey, you never know who's looking, fucking this or that. And you hear people say that. Hey, you never know who's going to be there. Or you never know who can help you. And you almost become cynical after a while because you're grinding, you're an artist. You're like, man, no one's going to help me. And I'm on my own. And this is one of those times where like, whoa, here's someone who does huge videos with huge artists. And he sees what we see and he sees, there's something special. And he's willing to give his time and his energy because he believes in it. And I mean, that's above all else. Money is some part of it. It helps when people give you money, or you'll see with sponsorships and with stuff. But when someone gives you their time and their energy, it's huge, bro. It's huge. So that video is crazy. That's one of the ones he wanted to do. He's like, I want to do Mi Vida Nueva. He's like, I want to do all facts. I want to do Mi Vida Nueva. And he's the one who did I'd Rather Get High, the new one I did in the Pachuco suit and all that with McGrady. That was also Moses. So it's crazy, man. That song led to this one, and it kind of just domino effect in a way, man. It's a trip.
Damn, it's crazy how shit happens like that. Right, all facts.
This is one of my favorite tracks too on the album, man. Them mariachi horns or whatever Rockham got on this. Yeah, this was like just essential barring out. I just wanted to rap on this one. I felt like, especially in the album, it's like you got the anthem, you got the boom bap, you got the message, I was wrong, and Mi Vida Nueva, very introspectual and stuff. And this was just barring out on fools, like, here's the dope that I got, you know what I mean? And we were really inspired for the video. Like, we took the shot of the truck from the J. Cole video where he's on the back, the Forest Lawns one. We pretty much try to copy that one. And we took other inspiration from different stuff. The under the car stuff, that was just Moses. Like, I'm like, motherfucker, I don't know how to fix anything in mechanics. Like, what am I doing under here? But yeah, it's still definitely one of my favorite songs. And this is one of my favorite songs to perform, man. The energy is just always on point.
Just bar level. Dope. Hell yeah, man. Agua Fresca. Let's talk on that.
Agua Fresca, man. That
Dream On, yeah.
That song, it's crazy because the person who produced that is Lex. Me and Lex have been homies for a while. We've never really worked with each other on music, again, because I'm a picky person with production. Something might catch my ear, and then other things will just be like, it's cool, I could give you feedback. I like that drum, I like that that snare, it snaps, that's just dope. But that don't mean necessarily I'm gonna rap on it, But so with Lex, he had to be ultra patient. Like we freaking known each other for years and we never had a track. And then I really wanted him on this album. And maybe to a force of it, maybe I forced it a bit, where I was like, yo, I want you on this album. Like, beat. We went through beats. And then I had heard that one, the Agua Fresca beat. And lately, I mean, from like an artistic standpoint, I wanted to have something a little faster paced for the album. A little trappy, a little more modern, just to offset it, variety, like your palate. It's like you can't only eat a certain, your tongue gets used to it, right? So sometimes in that meal, you gotta just throw something else in there just to kind of throw off that palate. And that's what Agua Fresca is, man. And even the idea of the concept for the song, I thought of that again while we're on the road. I was just like, agua fresca in my cup, agua fresca, agua fresca. Like, imagine someone made a song like that. Like, I'm just gonna do that shit. And when I did it, everyone thought I was crazy. First of all, like, it was not well received. Like, I'm gonna be honest right now. Like, fools from the crew or the other homies were like, I like the whole album, but what the fuck is this agua fresca shit? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't know, it's fun. I've always been like, you can't take yourself too serious, you know? I'm like, I just want to have fun. And I really challenged Kiddo to just murder the beat. Like, I made her rewrite that fucking verse like 3 times. I was like, nope, come on. You gotta come, like, you gotta go harder. All right, check this out. And she wrote me like, it's cool, but the beginning is like a word jumble, like simple in the beginning. Like, you know, I was very critical on it. And it just came out to a really fun song, man. And then the Dream On, I was gonna have that separate. But then I decided to do the beat switch up and switch it up on that. And then I was kicking it with the homegirl Maya, and I showed her the song, and I ended it with Dream On. Dream on, dream on, dream on. And it just ends very like, and she's on, nah, what the fuck? Bring that agua fresca back. She's like, when Dream On ends, agua fresca in my cup, and then bring the beat back. And I love Maya for that fucking suggestion, dude. She get writing credit because that just changed the whole song. Now when we perform it, we do agua fresca, people are like, word, what is this? And then it goes into Dream On, and I'm dropping all these facts with Dream On, and then Dream On ends, and agua fresca comes right back in, and then we hit it on the down, and it's like everyone goes crazy. So, I mean, it's just, that's the fun song on the album, man.
Yeah, that song is crazy, man. Dope. Alright, Invite Only.
Invite Only. That's another beat produced by the homie Spec. That's kind of like a real chill vibe track. Little more on the introspective side. I'm kind of rapping about the stuff that I'm going through, you know what I mean? A lot of personal stuff. It's not necessarily like a real general song or like a lead single type track. Like, as I mean, like and I could know my music enough to know that that's not the single. That's a late song, album song that your core fans love. And that's the one people always quote to me and shit. Yeah, they quote me the Peyote, they'll quote me Mi Vida, but then they'll hit me with bars from that. Like, you know, you're just like, I don't know, it just makes you laugh sometimes. You know, I put my foot forward, push a new aura, you know, I like that shit. I'm just like, oh shit. You're listening all the way up to that point, you know? But yeah, that was just a real smooth track, man. I really try to just capture the vibe that kind of Spec laid out on the production. And that was like them conscious decisions not to be all hype, or it was like just in the pocket, real smooth rhyming, you know? Yeah, I love that track. I love that track. That's the track you play late at night and smoke to, you know what I mean?
Dope, yeah. Alright, cool. Now, Salute to Success.
Well, that's how you end it off, you know what I mean? It's like, salute, and it's almost to the haters. That song's to the haters, you know what I mean? And it's like, thank you for hating. Salute to you, but here's the drink to my success in a way. So it's a little on the cocky end, like, what's up, fool? You can't fuck with me. We talking about that. You think you're all bad, you know? That's how our culture is. Like, oh, that fool thinks he's all bad, you know? Well, sometimes you gotta embrace it. Like, I am that bad, fool. What's up, dog? Like, what are you gonna do about it, you know? And that's that track. That's that track. And that's another Global Get Down, the same fool who produced the Peyote track. He produced that one. And same thing, man. He gave me that beat, and I was kind of in writer's block. I remember. And that was the last song I recorded for the album. And I was just like, damn, dude, I feel like I can't write right now. I didn't even want to write for the album. I thought the album was done. And I was going to end it on Invite Only. Perfect little way to end it, real chill. And he's all, hold on, I got, you know, Divine, be Divine again. Hey, come here, I got something for you, fool. He plays me that beat, and he's like, well, I made that beat like in 2000, and he told me, I made that beat like in 2004. I'm like, God damn, that's an old ass beat. Like, it sounds kind of modern though. And yeah, man, I just wanted to fucking do a cool little anthem to say cheers to the haters, dog, and just, you know, just keep on going for your success. Whatever it may be to your individual self, just go for your success, make the most out of your story, you know?
Tell him, man.